Tonight, the right going all in on baseless conspiracy theory that claims Taylor Swift's relationship with Travis Kelce and the Super Bowl are all rigged to help Joe Biden win the election.
This is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be like some type of proposal after the Super Bowl is rigged for the Chiefs. And then the two of these people reach like crazy levels of absolute fame. And then they use that in order to try and save Joe Biden.
And then there's whatever Benny Johnson is writing on Twitter. It's all fake. Taylor Swift exposed as a Fed op to rig 2024 election for Biden. Pentagon admits it.
Like Vivek Ramaswamy are claiming this whole thing is a conspiracy, suggesting that the Super Bowl will be rigged for the Chiefs to set the stage for Taylor Swift's Biden endorsement.
Guys, I mean, are you all okay? Seriously, take a walk. Shake it off, as she would say.
Hey everyone, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and welcome back to What Was That? Republicans are losing their minds right now because they believe Taylor Swift, her boyfriend Travis Kelce, and the NFL are all part of a deep state psyop to help elect President Biden. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not.
If you're screaming at Taylor Swift saying she ruined her, you're just a loser. You're just a loser or a jackass. You can be A or B.
One of the two.
One of the two.
Republican snowflakes are so terrified by the idea of Trump losing to President Biden again in the 2024 election that they are desperately trying to prepare themselves with any excuse imaginable. MAGA believes that Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL, the COVID-19 vaccine, the FBI, and the Pentagon are all in cahoots to help elect President Biden.
Take a look at this. Jesus Christ. That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail?
Now, a few months ago, mumblings of this delusional Taylor Swift psyop were coming from a couple of MAGA snowflakes known as Tweedledee and Tweedle Dumbass. You might know them by their actual names, Jack Pizzagate Pacific and Charlie I Hate Black People Kirk.
If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? This is not a way to design society. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
These two MAGA morons like to live stream their fears and insecurities onto their fellow racist and sexist incels.
Travis Kelce is an op. He's an average football player who happens to have one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks ever. And then you have Taylor Swift, who's also an op, who sells out audit. And I'm supposed to believe that, a love story. I just happened to stumble into Mr. Pfizer, Mr. State Farm, just in time for the 2024 election. I don't believe it.
And now this conspiracy has reached the mainstream media where Taylor Swift is living rent-free in right-wing host heads like Jesse Waters. Or as I know him as, the coworker stalking, tire deflating, affair-having, slavery-excusing, hypocritical Christian.
Well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon's Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A psyop for combating online misinformation. Listen.
You came in here wanting to understand how you just go out there and counter an information operation. The idea is that social influence can help encourage or promote behavior change, so potentially as like a peaceful information operation. I include Taylor Swift in here because she's a fairly influential online person. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yeah, that's real. The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset for combating misinformation online.
And after Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs won the AFC Championship, that was all the validation that MAGA needed. Now they're pointing and saying, see, we told you, it's all part of the deep state plan. However, it shouldn't surprise anyone that the video that Waters played, the one that is pivotal to their conspiracy theory, was not actually the Pentagon PSYOP unit. Furthermore, none of the speakers on stage work for the Pentagon or the US government. No! I know, I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but it was just a talk given at the International Conference on Cyber Conflict, not the Pentagon. But what do you expect? It's Fox News after all. They love to bring on celebrities, athletes, and musicians for their thought-provoking analysis on global events and issues. Like when Fox is Outnumbered had Gene Simmons on, the basis of KISS, to talk about the handling of an Ebola outbreak. Or when Tucker Carlson had fashion model Fabio on a show to blame crime in California on liberalism. Or when Tucker Carlson had Kid Rock on a show to share his views on cancel culture. You know, the guy who got so triggered by a Bud Light can that he bought cases of Bud Light just to shoot them and then called for their boycott. And then months later, he was caught drinking Bud Light at a bar. And who could forget most recently when Fox and Friends had actor Jim Caviezel on their show, where he declared that Trump was the new Moses.
This is the new Moses. I mean, I'm still Jesus, but he's the new Moses. Pharaoh, let my children go free.
These people are so detached from reality that when it comes to right-wing media outlets like Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, and whatever other fringe shows out there, it's just another Wednesday afternoon for them.
They're elevating her to an idol, idolatry. This is a little bit what idolatry, I think, looks like, and you're not supposed to do that. In fact, if you look it up in the Bible, it's a sin.
You know, it's funny that Greg Kelly should mention idolizing Taylor Swift. Back in 2016, Nazis literally idolized Taylor as an Aryan goddess, claiming that she was red-pilling America into a race war through her music. So which one is it, guys? Is she a Nazi, or is she a woke liberal Soros government asset?
Pick a lane. Jesus.
And then, of course, how could we forget how the MAGA cult literally prayed to a golden idol of Trump at CPAC 2021? And speaking of Trump, his campaign plant Vivek Ramaswamy entered the conspiracy convo in a desperate attempt to stay relevant, tweeting that the Super Bowl would be rigged in order to set the table for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's endorsement of President Biden this fall. It's much easier for Republicans to believe a conspiracy that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are part of a deep state psyop than believe the simplest answer, which is a global pop star is dating a two-time, potentially three-time Super Bowl winning football player. So then, after sexually explicit deepfakes of Taylor Swift were posted on Twitter, right-wing YouTuber Tim the Fool Pool angrily tweeted that he couldn't search for her on the platform anymore. Why are you searching so hard for Taylor Swift? Pretty creepy, bro. And just so you know, those deepfake images were actually created by MAGA incels on 4chan. Also, if you follow Tim Pool's soundproof logic, that would mean that Elon Musk, the far-right's favorite billionaire who owns Twitter, would have to be directly involved in their so-called psyop. MAGA really needs to sit down and just relax because they are just too stressed and paranoid. Maybe they could try drinking something to improve their mood, like today's sponsor, Beam. Sleep is the foundation of our mental and physical health. When you are sleeping well, you can perform at your best, mentally and physically. Proper sleep can also increase focus, boost energy, and improve your mood. Introducing Beam's Dream Powder, a science-backed, healthy hot cocoa for sleep. If you know me, you know that Dream has been a game changer for my sleep. Beam is not only delicious, but it's also helped me fall asleep and stay asleep through the night, which then boosts my energy and mood the following day. And today, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder. Their science-backed, healthy hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, melatonin, and nano-CBD to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. The numbers don't lie. In a clinical study, 93% of participants reported Dream helped them get better sleep. Beam Dream is easy to add to your nighttime routine. Just mix Dream into hot water or milk, froth, and enjoy before bed. Find out why Forbes and New York Times are all talking about Beam and why it's trusted by the world's top athletes and business professionals. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Gabe and use code Gabe at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Gabe and use code Gabe for up to 40% off. And then, of course, there's rage-bait grifter Benny Johnson, who's best known for getting fired from BuzzFeed for being a serial plagiarist. He continues to push the conspiracy that Taylor Swift is a government psyop asset, that she's a raging liberal Joe Biden supporter, and that her relationship with Travis Kelce is all fake. Holy shit, talk about not being able to cope. This is just pathetic. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to know that Taylor Swift will endorse President Biden for the 2024 election. And it's not just because she endorsed him in 2020, but also because how aggressive and destructive the GOP policies are against women. Roe v. Wade. But I love how Benny says that the mainstream media is having a meltdown even though he's the one obsessively tweeting and talking about Taylor Swift on his podcast. Here he is talking about Taylor Swift to Trump's national press secretary.
Final thoughts. Do you think Taylor Swift's going to come out and endorse Joe? Do you think that this is all a big setup?
That's the word on the street. The Democrats are pushing for it. They're calling it their Hail Mary pass to drag Biden over the finish line. Here's the deal. I don't think people are going to take advice from someone who flies around on a private jet, has private security, when they're paying thousands of dollars more just to live. That might not be a lot of money for Taylor Swift. She may not feel the impact of Bidenomics, but millions of people across this country are. She should stick to writing songs. And by the way, Benny, this woman has made a career off of writing songs about picking the wrong guy. We should not trust her to pick the wrong guy in this presidential election.
Yeah, writes songs about how horrible her decision-making processes with men, endorses Joe Biden. You got it. Okay, good. There you go. There's the catalog owned by George Soros.
What in the Krusty the Clown laugh was that? Despite what Benny thinks, Taylor Swift has been making music since 2004. She did not just suddenly appear out of thin air like some Democratic boogeyman that the Republicans claim that she is. Benny says that Taylor Swift is a raging liberal Joe Biden supporter. I mean, just look at this photo. Her raging support of President Biden was off the charts during the 2020 election when she posted this photo of herself with her Biden-Harris cookies. I don't know about you, but I am so glad that Benny is here to sound the alarm for us.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Now, what Benny fails to mention, whether intentionally or not, is that Taylor Swift was not politically neutral before 2020. Back in 2018, she used her First Amendment right to express her dislike of Marsha Blackburn and her harmful policies.
It really is a big deal. She votes against fair pay for women. She votes against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is just basically protecting us from domestic abuse and stalking. She thinks that if you're a gay couple, or even if you look like a gay couple, you should be allowed to be kicked out of a restaurant. It's really basic human rights, and it's right and wrong at this point, and I can't see another commercial and see her disguising these policies behind the words Tennessee Christian values. Those aren't Tennessee Christian values. I live in Tennessee. I am Christian. That's not what we stand for. I need to do this. I need you to just, I need you to forgive me for doing it, because I'm doing it.
And when you fast forward to 2024, Marsha Blackburn is now so afraid of Taylor Swift's massive influence in Tennessee and across America that she knows not to kick the hornet's nest, and that nest being Swifties.
She said that you were Donald Trump in a wig. How do you respond to that? And what's your take on the impact she could have in November?
Taylor Swift is really a popular, very talented young woman. She has built quite an empire. I am so thrilled that she has chosen to base that in Nashville. She is considered to be an influencer.
Blackburn is surprisingly smart enough to avoid the trap that the rest of MAGA is falling into. Republicans love when their musicians and cringy rappers tell their fans to vote for Donald Trump, but as soon as Taylor Swift uses her platform and her First Amendment right to tell her fans just to register to vote,
well, then everyone loses their minds.
But the funniest and most insane part of MAGA's conspiracy is that the NFL is working with the government to fix the Super Bowl to help President Biden. That would mean that tons of the most competitive people on the planet would have to agree before the season even started to throw their game so that the Chiefs could make it to the Super Bowl and win. And according to Charlie Kirk, who is clearly known for his football expertise, evident from his football-shaped forehead, this makes total sense because Travis Kelce is not a good football player.
He's not that good.
You're not wrong. Good. He's not that good.
He's not that good.
He is probably the second most notable player on a team that has won like 2 Super Bowls in the last.
First of all, without Patrick Mahomes, he would be a very average tight end.
Travis Kelce set a record in 2019 by becoming the first tight end in NFL history to record 4 consecutive seasons with at least 1,000 receiving yards. He would then extend this to 7 straight seasons. I mean, the dude is a beast, so good luck with that theory, Charlie. So as you can see, Republicans are desperately trying to piece together whatever loose threads of a conspiracy they can so that when Trump does lose in the 2024 election against President Biden, they can just blame it on that. Which is on brand for the GOP. Blame a woman for their own problems.
The Republicans that are looking down and past Taylor Swift do so at their own peril. What is her sin? What is her sin? She wants more people to vote. She wants to help people register to vote and remind them the importance of expressing their democratic rights and responsibilities. Wow. And that says everything you need to know about the Republican Party. They don't want people to vote. They want to make it harder because they can't win if you vote. How sad and pathetic the Republican Party have become, that Taylor Swift literally is a threat to them for one reason. She wants folks to turn out and vote.
But I think Colin Cowherd did a great job of exposing MAGA's true nature when they go and attack Taylor Swift.
And a network puts them on the air briefly, that it bothers you. What does that say about your life? The New York Times measured how long she was actually on the broadcast. Do you know how long it is on average? 25 seconds in 3.5 hours. But a talented and beautiful woman is on the air, one who would never pay attention to lonely men, and it bothers them. There's a stat out there, it's kind of uncomfortable for you sad guys, that 50% of men never have real intimacy with a woman. And those ones that don't are angry and sad and lonely, and they are often misogynistic and resent women who didn't give them the time they think they deserve. Again, judge people by the silly things that bother them. This says nothing, this anger. This says nothing about Taylor Swift. It says everything about the men bothered by it.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to be a part of supporting me and my one-person show, then feel free to contribute to my personal Patreon, YouTube channel, or Ko-Fi. Your generous contribution goes a long way in growing this channel, and it means the world to me. Thank you for your support. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?